Is it on?
Is it on?
Hey guys,
Hi,
what's
guys.
up? Hi. We're going to bring you a topic. We kind of went over this, like talking about our budget and money here, and now that people are coming here to retire and they're coming here to visit, there are some things that you may want to consider.
Right. Now the big question is, guys, can you retire at $1,500 where you're at?
Can you retire on it?
Can you?
Can you guys retire on $1,500 in your country is the big question.
Right. Again, guys, I've been in the U.S. for a long time, and then rent, like right now, is astronomical. Even a studio one bedroom right now in Florida runs for $1,200 to $3,000.
And in New York, right now, the rents have went up like 20%, 25%. It's went up also astronomically in New York. They're saying the average studio is around $3,000. They just had it in New York Times and everything. California, same thing. It's several thousand for a one bedroom, but on average, it's around $1,500 in Florida. So.
Right. Electric, that depends on, of course, your usage. Average electricity usage, from what I've heard, is $127 is the lower, well, somewhat lower end, and then up to $300 a month. So that alone is basically that pretty much tops off your $1,500 right there, to be honest with you.
By the time you pay, it'll cost you 3 times as much. We can speak about the U.S. because George lived there for a couple years, and I've lived there my entire life before I retired here. And it is, right now we're finding, even with the rents going up in this country, groceries, everything else, it still costs you 3 times as much to live outside the Philippines is usually, and that's for the U.S. So by the time you pay your rent and electricity and you use some sort of transportation, most people's budgets are busted without food or anything else. And here in the Philippines, around $1,000 to $1,500 seems to be the consensus from the average expat. We're not talking about somebody that retires with $6,000, $7,000 US dollars a month that had 2 pensions and Social Security and a little bit 401k going on, because not everybody saves like that. They said only around 20% of the US planned like that. So you got to figure 2 out of 10 expats actually prepared. So you're going to hear all of them talking about, well, don't bother coming here unless you're, you got tons of money and this and that. And it's just not true. You want to make sure that you have your insurance. You want to make sure, if not, you have money saved. Don't always have to have an insurance, because you're going to find that if you're over a certain age, over 60, it's going to be hard to stay insured here, the same as the US or anywhere else. And your Medicare will not work in this country. So you cannot count on that. And if you're counting on VA benefits, I would not count on that unless you live in Manila. They have one clinic there. You can go, it's not a hospital, it's a clinic. You cannot count on that insurance to enter the country because it's a requirement if you're visiting, depending on your visa. And you can't rely on that insurance. So you would have to live in Manila to use any of your VA benefits. You're gonna have to make appointments, and it really is a little bit more difficult using the VA benefits. So you can retire on $1,000 to $1,500. It depends on how you guys want to live here. If you live more like a Filipino and you're not out there eating out all the time and entertainment and entertaining a bunch of people, and you're not living a certain life, then this is well doable. Our budget is under $1,500. We do the occasional going out, but that includes us having insurance, that includes us with savings, and so it's very important. Here, under that amount, you're dealing with rent, electric, food, car rides, a good cell phone cable, immigration, and insurance. So
yeah, and again, guys, $1,500 in the U.S. pretty much you're lucky if you can squeeze in electric and rent for $1,500. Mm-hmm. And groceries, guys, you have to eat, right? I mean, we do. If I spend $120, that's not enough. It's never enough. A real full shopping cart would run around $300.
It is,
okay, guys.
And we actually did. I mean, a Walmart trip would set us back. If we got a decent meal for at least twice a day in the U.S. and got things like toiletries and all that and our cat stuff, we were out the door $300 US dollars. And there's a lot of people that are going to agree that groceries are astronomical in the U.S., but they are on the rise here too.
Right. And that's another thing, guys. Remember in our last video we said don't go to these certain stores if you want to save money. And here's the reason why. As Heidi knows personally, If I go to the market for potatoes, guys, big giant potatoes, okay? Big giant potatoes. Carrots, big giant carrots. Guess what? If I go to SM, pay the exact same price, what do you get?
Half as much, or you're paying twice as much at SM. So we do get the food deliveries, which we find to be easier, but the
And
prices, it's safer. And then you don't have to pay for transportation and everything. So the 150 pesos, or it's around $3 to have it delivered is really nice. You give a tip and everything. But remember, you're going to pay more money because a lot of those products are like US based. They do have a generic name and everything. And somewhere we have a video in regards to being at SM before, but we'll be doing one soon, probably in the next few weeks. We've just been extremely busy. But yeah, you only get like half as much. So definitely go to the market. Who's actually to say?
And that's another thing, guys. Like, again, if you guys want convenience, that's great. Same thing with shopping. If you're looking for, let's say, Jif peanut butter, these are imports here, guys, so they're double the price. Okay, almost double the price.
Right.
Now, who can be comfortable here, guys? As far as if you want us to give you a price, as some of you guys already like email us, like, hey, this is my money income. Am I going to be okay? In our opinion, optimum is from 15 to 2,000. Okay, guys, 15 to 1,500 to 2,000. Okay, guys, is optimum. That's kind of like you're not living the high life, but you're not living poor either. Okay, now you're not gonna have like a housemaid or anything like that, or a driver with you, or maybe
you might be able to have the occasional housekeeper come in or something, or if you have around $2,000. But it depends. If you're out in the province, you could probably be a baller out there. But it depends on everything, down to what you're eating, whether you like your alcohol, what type, if you like brand names, if you don't mind generics, if you don't run an AC at night. So instead of having a $50, $60 US cost on your electric bill, a 2,000 peso, 3,000 peso electric bill, like us, we run the AC at night now officially. So that will cost us about 6,000 pesos. So, that's over 100 and something. I'll put the cost down there below for you guys.
And guys, alcohol, again, there's the Filipino brand, which is dirt cheap. And there's the American brand, which is double the price. But here's the catch, guys. Again, fair warning, there's a lot of counterfeit Western liquor here. So watch out. You might be paying double for less.
Right, there are counterfeit liquors here, there are counterfeit cigarettes here, they have just about everything that's counterfeit. It doesn't happen every day, but it can. So, as we told you guys to do your own due diligence, if the price is too good to be true, like if you see it at SM, if you see it at Robinson's, and it's, 9,000 pesos, and then all of a sudden you see it for 2,000 pesos at a sorry store, don't do it. Don't do it. It means there's something actually wrong. So even if it is possibly someone you trusted, because it means they probably got scammed too. They bought it by a box. They probably don't know. They probably bought it. They tend to wrap them up in plastic and say they're busy and they're running out the door. They're getting ready to go to SM. They're getting ready to go to Robinson's or head off down the street where they got another order to fill. And they'll say, do you want it or not? And they pressure these sorry stores to buy this stuff. And they're super busy too with customers. And then next thing you know, they got a $2,000 bottle of Jack Daniels, and you're like, wow, it's a bargain. No, it's not a bargain. It's definitely, it's counterfeit. So just be careful, guys. So,
yeah, and actually, guys, that's another thing. Remember, I used to say, always have your, I would be the spouse then. Always send out your Philippine spouse to go do the shopping. If you don't have one, consider this. Actually, somebody emailed us and said this. Guys, hire somebody to do the shopping for you.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get right on top of that, because you want to make sure anybody that you guys hire that, we have family that have had workers, and then their workers, known each other, and it's generation after generation. That can be trusted. But besides that, guys, you need to hire someone from an agency, someone who's been background checked, a whole 9 yards. You just don't want to hire somebody that's standing around in a, in a
has to be
mall or
somebody
something.
like you probably know, or referral somebody completely trust.
Basically through an agency, and even then it could be, I would still be asking for references, because what's happened is that a lot of these expats are hiring people in, and then next, because a lot of people, okay, let me finish that. A lot of people are hiring people in, and then next thing you know, if you don't have a camera in the house, something happens, she claims something happens. If you don't pay her enough, or a bonus, or something happens, or she falls in love with you or something, and then you know she wants something from you, and these are usually the single guys. Something happens and you don't do what she or he, because there are males that do the same thing, then next thing you know, they're up at the Barangay Hall.
Yeah, CYA guys, just CYA. Cover your, but
Cover your own A.
Here's the thing, guys. Putting a camera in your house, if you do have a housekeeper, helper, will protect you in more ways than one. And quite honestly, I hate to say this, workers, and you guys know this, workers will behave better if they know there's an operating camera nearby.
They do, whether it's a housekeeper or not, whether you're just in the bathroom. I would actually get a camera if you actually hired in help, but it's always better to hire from an agency and still do like your own background check. So
yeah.
But that's what we wanted to touch on today, guys, that can you actually live in your country on that $1,500? And I'll be shocked if someone comments that they actually do. And well, we had some guy that claimed that he lived in the United States on something ridiculous, like $900, and I'm like, yeah, if you own your house, and even if you own your house, you still, if you're driving, which most people drive in the United States, you got insurance, you got gas. You know, gas is at $5 a gallon here, not there, here. That's the equivalent of what the gas is, around $4 or $5. But you can't, there's no way somebody's living on $900 there. And
you can, but it's not.
It's not a life. Are they really living? Because
it's not.
groceries.
I mean, I have seen $500 rentals, and they're rough.
Well, like I said, if the guy, yeah, but not many places right now. The rents went up quite a bit. But,
no, I know.
And so to even think about $900, and they weren't alone either. This person wasn't alone. They had kids, and I'm like, you're living on $900.
You're roughing it. You might as well come here.
Right. So, you know, look for our other video. Why do people come to the Philippines? You know, what is their reason? And usually there's a few reasons why people come.
I mean,
and that's one of them. It's finances. They just cannot afford to live there. So for that reason, if you have to come here and live here, you can live a good life here in the Philippines.
Yeah, and if you say I live on $900 and you're living with somebody that you're not paying rent, that doesn't count.
Yeah, no, right.
A lot of them do say that. They're like, oh, well, I live for $500. No, you're living with your grandma. It doesn't count.
Right. There's a lot of Filipinos here. I wonder how they're getting by, but they live, you know, 4 generations in a house. We're just keeping it real, guys, and we do that because, you know, we don't want life to hit you. You know, don't let life hit you and stuff when you actually get here, guys.
And remember, guys, when we say budgets, a lot of people say, well, Filipinos live under this budget, but guess what? You're not Filipino. Odds are, if you're watching this channel, you're probably not Filipino, which means you're not used to Filipino standards as far as food and...
Yeah, rice, fish, and
housing,
that's it. And that's breakfast,
the
lunch,
heat,
and dinner.
AKA lack of AC. Most of Filipinos don't use AC, guys.
Fans, and they won't even run fans because of the electricity.
Right. Yeah, and actually, that's true. Even businesses shut off their fans.
Yeah, a lot of the businesses do not have AC either, so don't expect that either.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them do. You'd be surprised who will, which is usually the malls or the big grocery stores actually do. But even then, it's not even up that high. It's not like cold ass Walmart. So
yeah, most businesses I walk into, when I walk in, that's when they turn on the fans.
Yes, that's true. The restaurants and everything. So even the big restaurants have turned off their stuff because of what's been going on. But all right, guys, we're going to wrap this up, and we like to thank everybody so much for actually subscribing and their comments. Thank you, guys. Be sure to email us at philippineantics@gmail.com. We'll answer any questions you guys have. If not, we'll find out or refer you over to somebody else that actually does. But we'll do our research on it and our opinions. You know, with George being a Filipino and with me being American, we came. I say we because we came from Mexico, where we stayed and vacationed for 6 months. And before that, we lived in the United States. George was there for a few years, but he is a Filipino citizen, and he's got the lowdown. The thing about our channel is that we have the male Filipino perspective and a female expat. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear from me, and we get a lot of flack on Facebook, and we get a lot of flack throughout the YouTube community and other people, but we're just keeping it real, and that's why people don't like it. But the consensus of our comments, they do like it, and we're going to keep on going, guys.
Truth hurts.
Truth hurts, people. All right, guys, we will talk to you later. As we always say, keep your heads up and your heart's open.
And we'll see you here in the
We'll
Philippines,
see
guys.
you soon in the Philippines. Bye, guys. Bye. That wasn't so bad. You think there'll be big babies when they get here? And, oh, the heat. Hey, look, there's chompers.
Oh,
Let's go see. Let you guys want to see chompers? I'll just edit it out.
yeah, you just have, yeah. That's our pest control guy.
Hey, look, guys. Free pest control. That is, we call him Chompers, or we call him Bugsy. And the cats actually love him. So, bye, guys.
Bye.